One small thing in so many small YouTubers' thumbnails is stopping them from hitting massive success. Are you one of them? The crazy thing is that it actually takes less time to avoid this mistake than it does to make it. So what is this small mistake? Well, stay tuned to find out. First, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Sean, and I specialise in making great looking YouTube thumbnails that get views. But I wasn't always like this. Years ago, I used to have another YouTube channel where I would spend hours making videos, but something stopped them from getting views. Looking back now, I realised that if I had just worked on making my thumbnails more clickable, I could have gotten way more views. I even did an experiment to prove this in one of my previous videos, which you should be able to find here. I use this channel to help people like you avoid the mistakes that I and thousands, probably millions of others made. Anyway, onto the topic of today's video. So the problem that I see with loads of thumbnails is the text. Now this might confuse you, since there are tons of videos out there with text on the thumbnail that still manage to get millions of views. Well, yes, a bit of text is fine, but too much text is where most growing creators go wrong. I scroll through dozens of posts from channels trying to promote their content. One of the most common problems I see is that they put a long sentence in the thumbnail that's just repeating info from the title. Big chunks of text just do not work if you want to make a video that does well. Viewers rapidly scroll through their YouTube recommended tab, and they don't have time to read the paragraph in your thumbnail. Instead, they'll be hooked by the video below yours with a captivating title and thumbnail. You have to beat the competition by making your thumbnail the one that grabs the viewer's attention. So you have two options. Number 1, get rid of the text entirely. If you're just repeating what is said in the title, then you don't need the text. It's wasting space that could be used for something more interesting. There's also option 2, shorten the text. Paraphrase it as much as possible down to preferably no more than 3 or 4 words. This is the choice that most people will want to go with, since text can drastically boost your views if used effectively. Obviously, me just telling you to shorten the text isn't going to be enough information for you to actually know what to do. So I'm going to go over a few different ways to shorten your text. To start off, if your video has you expressing any strong opinions, such as saying a movie is the best or worst of all time, you can shorten that down in the thumbnail as the worst movie ever. This can also work if you're saying anything unexpected or controversial. For example, if you believe that a well-liked song is bad, you could write, "Song is bad." But there's one essential thing that you need to add, and it's just one key on your keyboard. This one thing is the question mark. It might seem like a minor change, but putting this at the end of your text can increase your views dramatically. It works for reasons that I can't explain properly since I'm not a psychologist, but I'll still give it a try. When the viewer sees your strong opinion in your thumbnail, they'll naturally question that opinion. So the question mark reciprocates their thoughts and makes them more inclined to click. It also adds a bit of mystery to see whether you actually believe this, as opposed to not having the question mark and just straight up stating that this is your opinion. Now, that wasn't the most professional explanation, but it's my understanding of how it works. Another way to shorten the text is what I call the keyword method. If your thumbnail says something dramatic like, "This trick is insane," this is already pretty short, but we can make it even shorter and still get the message across. All we have to say is the keyword insane. Since it's just one word, we can make the text very big and easy to read. The viewer understands that you're talking about what's on the thumbnail, so all the other words are just unnecessary. Another time you could shorten sentences like this is, for example, if a TV show was cancelled. The text you would originally put in might be, "the end of whatever show." Now, go and see if you can spot the key word in that sentence. The one important word that communicates the most vital information in the phrase. If you hadn't guessed, the word, or technically words, is "the end." This is all you need to get the viewer hooked onto your video, because they can tell by the picture that this is probably what you're talking about, so the title of the show is just wasted space. If you want, you could add a question mark to use the strategy I explained before, although this might take away from just saying "the end" ominously. Okay, so now I'm going to give you an example of me actually applying these text shortening methods to a real thumbnail. I found this post on Reddit from Difficult Detective 20 on r/small YouTubers, asking for ways to improve his thumbnail. If you take a look, you'll notice that the text is very long. Why Luffy is the best shonen protagonist takes a few seconds to read, and most viewers wouldn't be bothered to look at it at all before scrolling to the next video that grabs your attention. At first I recommended they make it the best shonen protagonist, but this is still 4 words, and the word protagonist is a pretty lengthy one. So I thought it would still work if they removed the word shonen I don't watch anime, so I'm not sure what it means, but it doesn't seem essential for what the creator is trying to get across in his thumbnail. You could go one step further and remove "the", but I feel that kind of takes something away from the text and isn't really necessary. The main tip that you can take away from this video is condense the text in your thumbnails down to the most essential words. Also, don't repeat much information from the title, something that I talk about more in the video which you can find in the description. Remember to keep improving your thumbnails, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.